What if I told you the hardest part of becoming a millionaire is already behind you once you hit your first $100,000? You might think it takes 50% of the time to get to $500,000, but the shocking reality is that the math of wealth building is nonlinear, and it's designed to reward patience over intensity. This is the financial formula nobody talks about, explaining why the first 6 figures are a grueling, 12-year sprint, but also your golden ticket to speed up the rest of the race. Most people approach wealth as a straight line, believing that every $100,000 takes the same amount of effort and time. This assumption is what Charlie Munger famously described when he said, "The first $100,000 is a bitch, but you gotta do it." It feels slow because, in the beginning, your progress is dominated entirely by your own contributions. Every dollar you put in seems to move the needle far more than any market return, which is discouraging and makes many people quit. For anyone saving just $100 per week, assuming an 8% annual return, it takes roughly 12 years to hit that initial $100,000 milestone. That slow, consistent grind is where real discipline is forged, like pushing a snowball uphill through thick mud. You are not just building a balance, you are building the habit of consistency that is essential for the future. By the time you reach $100,000, you have a proof of concept, a working foundation, where nearly 40% of the balance is already generated by market growth. If you want to see more simple, actionable financial timelines and strategies like this one, please hit the subscribe button below. It helps me show more people how the compounding engine really works. The true magic begins immediately after this critical first step. Once the $100,000 foundation is laid, the momentum shifts completely. Your personal deposits matter less, and market growth starts doing the heavy lifting. Instead of taking another 12 years to hit $200,000, this second doubling now tends to take only about 6 more years. This means the second $100,000 arrives in half the time it took to build the first. This acceleration is because compounding now has a much larger base to multiply itself on. At the $200,000 mark, the math flips entirely. Your portfolio is now generating more wealth on its own in a single year than you have personally contributed during that same period. You stop seeing savings as a painful sacrifice and start seeing it as fueling an engine that is already running at full power. This brings us back to the biggest surprise on the journey to $1 million. Reaching $100,000 in 12 years puts you exactly 1/3 of the way there in terms of time, because the $1 million target is typically reached in about 36 years total under this model. Don't confuse half the time with half the money. By realizing the time component is the real secret, you can manage your expectations better. If you've found this breakdown helpful in understanding why consistency matters, please consider joining our community by subscribing to the channel now. But what about the inevitable market crashes? Volatility is not the enemy, it is actually your greatest ally. Successful investors do not panic when their $200,000 balance drops to $160,000. They see the dip as a temporary discount on shares. Automating your weekly contributions ensures that you keep buying more shares at lower prices, setting you up for explosive growth when the inevitable recovery occurs. History proves that every single bear market has been followed by a recovery and new highs. The real story of wealth isn't about perfect timing, it's about consistent effort over a long time horizon. Your role is simply to be disciplined and provide the initial fuel. Once you hit the first $100,000, you have proven the system works. By $200,000, compounding is now the majority stakeholder in your financial future. Start today, pick any amount you can commit to, automate it, and let time work its magic.